Hello and welcome back to my channel. It's been a while and a lot of stuff has happened. Nothing dramatic, just a lot of life. I'm going to give some context and a backstory to what's been going on so far this year. Before getting into the knitting stuff, I will leave a timestamp for anyone who isn't interested in life updates and ramblings and are only here for the knitting part. You can just jump to this timestamp point in the video and just skip all of it. As you might remember from where we left off is that we were in the process of selling our apartment, and we sold our apartment back in January this year. We did a really good sale. We got a lot of more for the apartment than we were expecting and went straight into house hunting. I went into a period of complete heartbreak because I was so sad we were leaving the city and looking for a place outside of the city, but we really wanted a house with a garden and just a nice, calm, quiet neighborhood. For our daughter and for ourselves, really. We were kind of tired of living in the middle of the city and feeling like we were only sitting inside and not getting around a lot, not doing a lot, just because our lifestyle has changed so much since having kids. Or kid, we only have one kid. So yeah, we really wanted just a different kind of pace. We didn't want that hectic life in the city center. So we have now moved to a house approximately 30 minutes outside of Oslo, 30, 40, it kind of depends on what bus or if you're driving or how you're getting to the city. But it's a really nice distance. It's a bit further away than we were hoping for initially, but now that we finally found our house, it feels just really right to be where we are. So we sold our house in January. Now, we sold our apartment in January, and we obviously hadn't bought a house yet. We wanted to see how much money we could get in the bank and just see what our budget would be, because you get a lot higher budget if you sell first. So we chose to do that. And everything was looking really good in January with the housing market and everything. Then some stuff happened in the world, which meant that interest rates weren't going down as they were predicted to do. And everything kind of just stopped a bit, which freaked us out. But everyone kept saying that, no, just wait until Easter. Easter is when all of the houses go on the market and everything will be fine. Come Easter, still nothing really interesting on the market. We were on a few viewings, we placed bids on a few houses, we lost some. Some of them we weren't willing to give more than asking price because of renovations and stuff that would have to happen on those houses. So when we approached the end of April, we packed up our apartment and moved out and moved in with my husband's father without knowing what was going to happen. It felt kind of daunting, but also like something we just had to do. We didn't want to buy something just because we had to, and we were lucky enough to have somewhere to stay. Then everyone got sick and we handed over the apartment while we were all sick, and it was just chaotic. And May approached, and in the beginning of May this house came on the market and we were really eager. It was a good price point in an area we had been looking at. So we signed up for the viewings. We sent an email to the real estate agent because that's something in our experience is really smart to do. It's a good move just to show that, hi, we are really interested in this piece of property. When will the viewings be? Will there be any private showings? What are the what can we expect? In Norway, the process is quite simple really. You put your house on the market, people come to view it, and the day after the viewings are done, there's open for like an auction or like a bidding on the property, on the house. So we were signed up for viewings, and we were told there weren't going to be any private showings of the house because the owners had small children and didn't want people coming in and out of the house all week. So we sat quietly and just waited until come a Tuesday. This house went on the market on a Sunday. Then on Tuesday we got a call that they had some private viewings on Monday, and someone had placed a direct bid to the owner instead of to the real estate agent. You're allowed to do so, and the homeowner can do what they will with that, but the real estate agent can't really get involved if there's a direct offer on the house to the current owner. Luckily, we had talked to the real estate agent, and luckily the homeowner had called the real estate agent before accepting the other offer. And they asked if we wanted to come see the house because we said that we would be willing to give more, but we had to see the house and the property first. So we were able to come visit them basically on a Tuesday, and we just have to make our minds up really, really quickly. We had read all of the papers, everything looked really good and everything was in order, which is kind of rare in this part of Norway. Houses are really, really expensive in this part. Where I'm from, it's not that expensive, although prices has gone up there quite a bit as well. But where we were looking, we were on a tight budget in a really, really expensive area. So we went to this viewing. We knew that the bones and everything inside, like the plumbing and electricity, all of that had gotten a green tick, which is the best it can have, from the home inspector that makes like these reports on the houses before they go on the market. And that is also why people try to get these houses quickly, because the good objects, the good properties are really, really far between. So the places where you don't have to like start big renovations, we didn't find a lot of them. So this was one of the few we had found. So we ended up and really liking the place, really liking like the garden, which is huge, and the location and everything seemed really, really good to us. We knew a lot about the area because we had done a lot of research on the area, and it was one of the areas we were looking in. So we just jumped in and started bidding with this other part, and we were in this bid war the entire Tuesday night. I was getting really nauseous because the numbers were getting quite high, but we knew that we would be in this situation again, just somewhere else. So we really just had to go all in and think like this: if we don't get this one, we're back at square one again. So we just kept on going. We threw in our offers right after they did every time, and in the end they put in an offer that we raised with like 10,000 kroner, and we got the house. And it seemed so surreal, and I was all nauseous again and all heartbroken again, because we were definitely moving out of the city. But after a few days and a few weeks, I was really, really confident that this was a good move for us, and we could just relax for once. So we have been actively looking for a house at that point for half a year, but we had been viewing the market and going on viewings for 2 years. So this has been a really, really long process for us. We have been so anxious and so worried that we wouldn't find somewhere, that we were going to have to make a huge compromise in what we wanted. But by looking a little bit further out than we were initially hoping for, a little bit more out from the city, we were able to get a property that was really good, in a really good condition. Like, we have to repaint and all of that stuff, but it's all just scratches and stuff that's on the surface. There's nothing wrong like inside of the walls. We had an inspection from an electrician to make sure that everything was in order. There was a few bits and pieces we had to fix, but nothing major. So yeah, we're just really happy and really enjoying life here. We have a garden for the first time. We can just step outside the living room and be outside, which is a huge difference from when you're living in an apartment and have kids and you have to pack up and go to the park. And it's just such a comfortable way of life and just right for us at the moment. But because of this move and because we have been living temporarily with my father-in-law and all of that, I haven't been knitting much this year. So although I wanted to like make these videos for you guys, I didn't really have the opportunity and I didn't really have anything to show. So I found that it wasn't like, there was no reason for me to keep making videos to show you the same stuff that I had gotten nowhere with. So so with that being said, we got the house in the summer during our summer holiday. We went straight into like painting and redecorating and all of that jazz for the 2 weeks before we went back to work. And now things have like slowed down a bit and I'm finally able to sit down and watch some television and just knit in the evenings, and it's amazing and it's such a good feeling after almost 8 months where I felt like I was never going to get to knit again. And I have a lot of stuff to show you guys because I didn't stop buying yarn even though my knitting mojo was like down the drain. I knew it would be back at some point, so I'm really happy with the house. I'm really happy with where we are in our life. Our house has 4 bedrooms and a loft, which means that this bedroom in the loft is my home office, our guest room, and also my yarn room. So I have these beautiful cabinets where I'm able to collect all of my yarn, my sewing machine, all of my bits. I finally have room for them. And although this room still has some boxes and still have all of those weird cables no one knows what goes to, and there's still a lot to be done in the house, my cabinets are finally up. I might do like a proper tour of them at some point, but for now let's just get into the podcast. Now let's start with finished objects, and there aren't too many, but the first one is this Olga sweater, which I have really been enjoying to wear. This is the Olga sweater by Petiteknit. I'm sure a lot of you know of this sweater and have seen it a ton of times already. I knit mine in this kind of navy color and a pearl grey, and it is the Drops Nepal, I believe. All of these fancy cabinets, and I still don't know where anything is. Excuse me while I see if I still have some of the yarn left over. I believe I do, but I can't find it. So anyway, I believe it was the Drops Nepal, like anyway the DK weight drops yarn, and this is really soft and nice, and I think I want to make a second Olga in this exact yarn, but in like a pink, purple, burgundy kind of thing. I think that would be really nice to have for fall, something that suits my summer coloring, summer season. I'm sorry, my hair is just not good today, so that's why I keep touching it. But yeah, I really enjoy this Olga. It's perfectly warm. It's not too warm, it's not too cold. I really like that I was able to knit it with just one strand and not pairing it with mohair. I think she originally knits it in Cardigan, which is a lovely yarn. But this Drops yarn is really cheap and it's good quality. And wearing it at home just feels like I don't mind if I get spills on it or anything. I can just wear it both at home and at work, I find, because it's just such a classic design. So yeah, I really enjoy it. I knit the size small, I believe, and it fits me like just so. So for the next one, I think I would do one size up just to get that more oversized feel. My next project is this one, and I believe you've seen it before. It's the Alpine Bloom tee by Caitlin Hunter. I believe that's what the pattern is called. I haven't steamed it or blocked it yet. I have worn it and it fits really well. It just bunches up weirdly in the neck because I haven't blocked it. I knit this in Knitting for Olive Merino for the main color, and the contrasting color is Lille Highland Wool. And it's such a beautiful, beautiful colorway. You can see that it is just almost like pearlescent. Is it that what you call it? I think it's just beautiful. It's white with all of these pinks and light blues. And I think it just makes a really interesting piece because far away it looks more like white, but when you get close you can see that it has all of this variation within the yarn. And this is probably my favorite way to use hand-dyed yarns, to use it as a contrasting color in color work. And I can't wait to explore this combination even more with color work in hand-dyed yarn. So this is really nice, and I've been wearing it while decorating in my dungarees, and I think this is a perfect way of wearing these kind of feminine shirts, which sometimes feel a bit too feminine for me, but with my like overalls, I feel like I'm balancing it out somehow. And those are my two finished pieces. Now let's jump into my works in progress. I'll start with the one that's almost done, which is my Storm Sweater by Petiteknit. I got this yarn for Christmas and I cast on during summer holiday. So I haven't spent too long knitting on it. It's a really enjoyable knit. It is made in Cardigan Ash Melange, which is one of the Petiteknit colorways. I believe it's the same as the illustration photo, but I just wanted something more light in my wardrobe, so I chose this ashy grey. And it's turning out really beautifully, I have to say. It's really enjoyable, and for someone who would like to knit structure for the first time, I would think that this is a really, really good place to start, because there are only knits and purls. There are no like stitches crossing over each other, no cables, so it's just a really nice way to start practicing and knitting up following a chart. It does feel kind of heavy, which is my only concern with a lot of structure in just Petiteknit. It definitely feels heavy, so I am looking forward to finishing it, washing it, and hoping it will like open up a bit more. I am knitting this in a size small as well, I believe, and I am hoping for it to just open up more and be like really oversized. My Ingrid sweater is insanely oversized and I just love the feel and fit of it, so I'm hoping this will be, if not as oversized, and closely to. I realized a bit too late that I had knit the entire first sleeve on 3.5mm needles instead of 4. But because I always knit a bit too loosely in structure anyway, I didn't find that it had too much to say. So I just went ahead and did the rib on 3.5s as well, bind off, and did the second sleeve on 3.5mm needles as well. I have tried it on and it's not too tight unblocked, so I think that blocked it will be just perfectly fine. I couldn't be bothered to do an entire sleeve one more time. So that's how I knit. I just make mistakes and go with them. Now my second work in progress is a zipper sweater light for my daughter. This is the size 3 to 4 years old, and I'm knitting it in Vulevo wool, which is some really, really cheap made in China superwash wool. I don't think I'll buy more of this just because it's superwash and it's made in China, but it was really, really cheap and I just couldn't resist because I've been really intrigued to see how this is, and it's a perfectly fine wool. And if this is what you can afford and what's in your budget, I would say just go ahead. There are worse things you could buy, I think, that's made in China than this. But for me, I believe my budget can stretch to something that's made in Norway instead, and that's just how I prefer my yarn. Like this is obviously not made in Norway either, so I am a fraud all the time. It's mostly because of the superwash. I think it gives the yarn a shine I'm not a huge fan of. I don't know. But the color is nice, the feel of it is nice, and I think my daughter will look absolutely really cute in this. It's huge yet, so I think if I get it finished and she can wear it this winter, it will just be really oversized, and then it will be fit even better next autumn and winter. So that is where I am at with knitting for her at the moment, that I'm knitting like 1 year ahead, just because she has so many knits, and at the age she's now, she doesn't need like 15 pieces to rotate, she just needs a few. So I'd rather knit ahead and know that we have stuff for her for the next seasons, and that stuff is coming up in the queue. So yeah, that's the zipper sweater. I'm knitting on Chiago needles, and I'll talk a bit more about me experimenting with Chiago needles at some other point, but at the moment I'm really happy with them. So I think this will be really cute, and I'm toying with the idea of knitting one for her father as well, so they could be matching. That would be really cute. Next up is a piece that's probably almost finished. It is the step-by-step cardigan by Florence Miller, which is a raglan top-down cardigan, which I used for making my sticking tutorial. I haven't blocked this, which is why it's all squished up. I did make a few modifications to this. I've cropped it quite a lot because I want it to fit with like my high-waisted pants for work and stuff. And I also opted to not do a double knit button band. I did just knits and pearls and bound off in Italian bind off, just because I wanted this to feel even more like bookish. Is that a reason? I just wanted it to feel more rustic, and I'm going to find some like magical buttons for it, some with like beautiful stones or something, and I really would like to embroider something or duplicate stitch something on this, maybe just do some stars or something to make it a more unique piece. I'm not sure how much I would wear this if I didn't make it more, did more to make it stand out. The color is beautiful, and although I am in summer and this color is kind of deep, I think I can wear this. I see this color in some of like the soft summer palettes on like Pinterest and stuff. So I am going to wear this color with confidence. This is a burgundy that leans a bit more purple in my mind than brown, and I don't think I can wear those very brownish burgundies, but those more purpley, more berry colored burgundies will be quite fine for my complexion, I think. So I can't wait to experiment a bit with this. I have seen on TikTok lately people going into the ancient cross-stitch library, is that what it's called? Or the ancient pattern library or something like that, and there's a lot of like beautiful patterns there for cross-stitching, so I might go see what I can find in there. I've seen someone embroider like beautiful knights on their sweaters, and I think it would be a bit weird doing something just on the back, so that might be better for like a sweater. But my plan for now is doing some stars. I don't know what color yet. Maybe just like a light blue or yellow, I don't know. But that's the plan for this. Next up is my Esther sweater by Petiteknit. This is also yarn I got for Christmas last year. It is Isager Jensen and Isager Silk Mohair. I believe I am knitting the size small for myself, and although it's a really beautiful sweater, I'm kind of regretting the choice of it, because it's kind of monotonous. It's just the same all over again, over and over and over again. And now I kind of would have wished I did like a cabled sweater instead. But I've come too far to rip this back. I have joined in the round, so I believe like the worst part is over. Now it's just all going around and around, and although I have tried, I still haven't been able to memorize the pattern yet. So it will be a tedious knit, and I don't think it will be like a main project at the moment. I have some other stuff that is easier to finish up first, because at the moment I really just want to finish some stuff that are on my needles, because they have been on my needles for so long. So I want to stop thinking about them and stop having a bad conscience about them still not being done. This is going to be beautiful when it's done. I'm probably going to get a lot of wear out of it, and it goes right into my New Year resolution on knitting more challenging stuff, not doing all just stockinette basic knits this year, but doing more structure. I really want to do some more color work. I think I will really enjoy it when it's done, but I'm not in a rush to complete it. Next up is another structured knit, and that is my jacket number 2. I have finished the body of it, and it's looking really, really good. I love this color. It's like a dark grayish blue, and I'm knitting this in Hillesvåg Sol, which is a beautiful, beautiful yarn. I really enjoy it. The thing is, I remember that I changed the needle for this. I don't know what needle I changed it to. I could probably maybe go back in my own videos to find out. I don't know. But I am also considering making this into a vest, because I have exactly one vest that is blue, which I love wearing, which is my vest number 1 or 2, I think, by My Favorite Things Knitwear. This is also by My Favorite Things Knitwear. So I am kinda contemplating to do a block of this at the moment, just to see how the fit will be after it's washed, to see if I would like it as a vest. If I like it, I might just do ribbing on the sleeves and the front and call it a day. Because I really enjoy wearing vests at work. I find them really easy to wear over shirts and everything, and I feel quite professional, and at the same time I feel warm. My office is notoriously cold in the winter and notoriously warm in the summer, because it's a really, really old building. The ventilation isn't the best, so we need to dress up for winter in my building. And vests are so easy to wear and just throw on, and I think they make every outfit just a little bit better. Also, I work in publishing, so you know, the bookish, like librarian-esque outfits are always welcome where I work. So I think this would be a really cool vest. Yeah, and it's not a difficult piece to do either. So if you're like looking for a all-over cable pattern to do for the first time, this is actually a lot easier than it looks, because you are doing the same cable all over the sweater, and you are knitting a certain amount of rows before you are twisting all of the cables in the same row. You are not like doing 15 rows here and 10 there and 5 there and constantly having to like pay attention to where you are. So you can totally knit this in front of the television without looking at the chart, which is perfect. And that was why I wanted to do it as well, to challenge myself doing an all-over cable, but without not being too challenging. But I think I could do something more challenging than this the next time. So I'm really pleased with myself for doing this. So I will try and wash it and block it and see the fit. I'm hoping it grows just enough that I feel comfortable wearing it as a vest. My last work in progress that I would consider like an active work in progress, I have some more, but I'm not sure what to do with them, is this Anker tee by Petiteknit. This was also like just an impulsive cast on this spring, because I was visiting my old neighborhood where our apartment were, and I was visiting my old yarn store. Our daughter was still going to kindergarten in our old neighborhood all spring, so we had to like commute there, and it was a hassle, but it was also kind of nice. So I went into the yarn store and this double Sunday came home with me. I wasn't able to finish it for summer. I definitely have come too far to rip it back, although I would kind of like this yarn for something else at the same time. But you know, I think I'll just finish it at some point, maybe for spring. I don't think I'll prioritize this now. For fall, there are just so many other fun knits to do during fall, so this I think will just go back into the cupboard until spring arrives again, maybe like March, or for Easter. If we are traveling for Easter, this would be like a nice easy project to take on the go. Yeah, so nothing really fancy or too much, nothing too complicated. That's what I'm trying to say. For my acquisitions, I believe I'll just take you into the closet. Instead of having to rip everything out, I could just open these doors and show it to you. These are black cabinets, so it's not too easy to show, but I'll pull things out. And we'll just start with, I don't know, let's start with some Petiteknit. On our way to the cabin this summer, we stopped by a yarn store at the place where we charge our car, and I got some Petiteknit that was going out of stock. I also got some thin Petiteknit that was going out of stock, and I actually got two different kinds here. I don't know if these are enough to do something for myself, but they will definitely be enough to do something for my daughter, either like a vest or a jumper, I don't know. I also got some Smart, which is basically Petiteknit but superwash, which I also find nice for gifts. They are perfect for gifts. For people who aren't used to like washing and caring for wool, I find superwash yarn to be perfectly fine. Also for baby pants, superwash are really nice for reasons I won't go too much into, but you could probably realize yourself why it's nice to be able to wash baby pants in a easy way. Now, my daughter was sick last week, so we went to the yarn store because that's what you do, and we have a really nice yarn store close to where we live now, so we went there and she fell in love with this purple Petiteknit, so I got I believe 5 skeins of it. I don't think that's enough for a sweater for her anymore, so I think I'll just make a vest for her. She has one vest, I believe, and I think they are really nice when they are inside the kindergarten and playing during winter and there are colder weather. So that's probably what I'll make from that. And also from where my husband's family has like a winter cabin, and we went to the local like food shop where we shop for food while we're at the cabin, and they had these huge balls of sock yarn which I couldn't resist. They are Viking yarn Raggen, which is 70% superwash wool and 30% nylon, and it's just so much fun. So I got 2 skeins of this, and I find that sock yarn is really good for pants as well, for young children who are crawling around on their knees. So maybe I'll make some pants from it, maybe I'll do some socks, I don't know yet, but I really enjoyed these large skeins. I found them so much fun. Then the other day I was bored and bought some yarn. It's like my coping mechanism at this point. So I got 3 skeins of this berry pink Sunday, which I will make a hat for my daughter. She only has like 1 hipster hat, and she really needs 2. 1 to stay at home and 1 to be in the kindergarten. And also they had these merino wool skeins, which is Sandnes Garn's Superwash Merino in DK weight, in a really like blush pink kind of colorway. So I just picked them up because they were discounted, and they will also be like perfect for either like gifts for someone or another vest for my daughter, who knows. Also this summer I got 3 balls of this, which is a gray yarn, Sunset in Sahara, and the brand is Bestemor, which is grandmother in Norwegian. And this is 60% extra fine merino wool and 40% camel. I've never knit with camel before, so I wanted it because I thought that sounds really, really fun. And I'm going to make one of those like tiny scarves with it. I don't think I'll make the Sophie scarf. I want to do something with more structure to it because I think that's a lot of fun. Now, let's see. I have some fivel that I also bought the day my child was sick. That was why I originally went. These light blue skeins of fivel that I will pair with leftover fivel from other projects to make mittens. I would love to knit some more Christmas gifts this year, and I think these will be perfect. I have a pattern for some really, really chunky, beautiful colorwork mittens that I am going to try. So that's the plan for that. Now let's see, what else? What else is new in my life? Except from like everything is new in my life. I believe I haven't showed you this, which was from my yarn club this spring, which is a really, really cool pink colorway in Highland wool. It's called Rhubarb, which also will be so cool for some color work at some point. I know I have something more in the other cabinet as well. Just give me a moment. It wasn't too much, was it? I don't think so. It could have been worse. I could definitely buy more yarn. The last one is a sweater quantity of the Volevo, the same that I was doing the zipper sweater in, just in a dusty blue. And I'm contemplating doing the Storm Sweater Junior for my daughter in this blue. Yeah, so that's the plan at the moment for that. I haven't made like a fall knitting, autumn knitting plans list this year, just because I have a lot of projects to like wrap up. I know I have some more works in progress lying around somewhere, like in some boxes or anything, that I want to rip back to reuse the wool for gifts. I am way behind on gift knitting for my friends' new babies that are being born this year and have been born. I have a friend that had a baby back in April and she still hasn't gotten her gift, which is like only bad for me because now I have to knit a much larger gift because the baby obviously has grown since April. So I might just do something in like 1 to 2 years or something like that. So yeah, I really need to just kind of reset my knitting, I think, before I do a lot of new plans. I have obviously stuff I want to do, but more than anything, I really want to see these projects done first, just to ease my mind and get them away and out of like my app. I bought a subscription to the Knit and Note app because now you need a subscription to use the app, and it was like heavily discounted 50% or something, so I just opted in. I'm also considering switching up my needles again. You might remember that I did a switch to tulip bamboo needles a couple of years ago, and I've been really happy with them. There's nothing wrong with them. They're really, really lovely needles. They look like this. The thing is, you only get this in store in my old neighborhood. Other than that, you have to buy them online. And because of shipping prices, it will be really expensive for me to buy just like one set of needles or just one cable when I need it. And I find myself supplying these kinds of things quite often. So I have been researching what needles are easier to find for me now here at my yarn store locally and at the ones that are closer to me at my office, without having to travel half of Oslo to find that one specific needle brand, only for them to not have what I need at the moment. I am able to go visit them. So I am contemplating making the switch to Chiago needles. I bought some of the Chiago twist because I really enjoy like the twisting needles, but also I have been trying the Chiago lace needles. I have used this quite a few times for making socks, But I really wanted to just feel the difference between the twist and the lace, which are the ones with the red cable. And I think I find the lace just as good as the twist for like my wrists, because that's my biggest issue knitting, is that my wrists they're hurting quite fast if I knit too much, and my fingers, so I can't really use needles that are too heavy. So I was a bit worried that the metal needles would be too heavy, but the Chiago metal needles they are so good. And the cables on the Chiago lace are amazing for doing magic loop, which is what I'm doing a lot of the time for sleeves and children's knits, all of that. While I find that the cables for the twist kind of get in the way a bit more, just because the cables are different. So I am thinking about like selling off some gear or just some like clothes and stuff I don't use anymore, to see if I can fundraise for new needles, or else I might ask for them for Christmas, because I think metal needles, at least for like the most woolly wools, are really nice because they just slide off the needles so easily. While on the bamboo needles, I find that they can get a little bit more sluggish. They don't like, it's not as smooth an experience as it is with the metal needles. So I'll have to think a bit about it, because my collection of needles are perfectly fine. It's not a rush in any way, shape or form, but I think my knitting experience would be even better, and also it would be much easier to find parts and to switch up like one cable or one needle, or if I needed to add on to my set, it would be easier to switch brands than to be reliant on that one store having what I need. If you survived this episode, good on you. I'm really happy that you are here. I'm really happy to be back. I am saying that with a bit of a question mark, because I hope I'm back. My goal is to do like monthly videos, or maybe every 6 weeks, depending on how much I get done. My first priority is to just finish the storm sweater, because that's what's closest. Do some blocking and just having fun with the projects I have on my needles at the moment. Just enjoying fall in this beautiful house that we bought with our own money. We also just bought a new car. We are picking it up in a week. So we are definitely in the trenches of having like loans to our brains, and all of our money is just basically going straight out to the mortgages and everything. But we are really happy, and we knew that that's how it's going to be for the next like 2 to 3 years, most likely, before everything kind of gets more normal. But yeah, we wouldn't have it any other way. We are so happy living here. And it's such a beautiful place to be living. This is like the closest thing I will ever get to living in like an English rural cottagey village in Norway. So I'm really happy about our surroundings, and I can't wait to see you next time. And thank you for sticking around. Enjoy your knitting. Bye.